Ladies and gentlemen, live from T-Briz Studios, it's the Adult Baby Show.
I'm a sweet boy.
I'll let a girl suck any part of me. I mean, honestly.
It's just in my mouth, just.
Oh, like, I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except getting to work on time.
You just ruined my day. Fuck your day.
Oh, let's get the feet involved.
It's not a nut. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud with you.
Some people
Yeah.
are absolutely
Uh-huh.
disgusted by me.
He ain't lying.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 294. I am B.
Chick.
And I'm Ryan.
How we doing, guys?
Doing real good.
Oh, I'm feeling good today.
I feel
Yeah.
great.
feel nice.
I got a little bit of a headache, but I feel great.
Yeah.
And I can just take some Advil, Tylenol, boom, pop that out, and then I'm great.
Okay.
I got a beautiful night's sleep last night.
Okay. What do you
Woke up-
attribute that to?
I don't know. I just, it was kind of chilly last night. And I had no shows. I had nothing to do. So I kind of, I don't know. I watched a movie. I watched a little bit of the Rangers game. I watched The Whale last night.
Oh, I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to watch it because it just looks so annoying.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it before. It was a little, there was some scenes that were kind of
A little gross. To watch, yeah.
Him being fat.
Yeah, it's like uncomfortable. And I related to some of it, like him like rummaging through the drawers for candy bars. I'm like, I've done that.
There was a point where he looked so manic, just looking for something to eat, that he made like a potato chip sandwich. He's just getting bread and potato chips, and then he gets the grape jelly, and he's pouring that on it, and it was just so gross.
And I'm watching,
And then
I'm watching, going like, has anyone ever been like so desperate that they make disgusting food? Like, just because you're overweight doesn't mean you like disgusting food.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree with
have
you.
all those things individually.
yeah.
Like, you know,
But maybe that is the thing, is that if you're if you're that overweight,
it's just you want to get
you
this
just
stuff in
need
you.
you need just a glutton. Just give
Yeah.
me anything. Feed me.
Because people have said anytime I've gained weight, it's always like, there's something in your life you're not happy with, you got to address. It's not just a weight gain. It's, there's something deeper. That's why
hate that.
that's why you're gaining weight. And I'm like,
I wonder
that's not
why.
true. I don't believe that at all. Like,
Neither do
I
I.
just love eating food. I love the taste
It's
of food.
delicious.
I'm like, I'm always pretty happy in life. And no matter if I'm happy or not, I just like eating food.
But is that because because when I watched this, I was like, oh, like I do love food, and I can easily gain weight now that I have my taste back.
Yeah.
But I've never like ran through a kitchen like just
Right.
I hate my life.
I've just been, but I'm not like
Yeah.
I'm not that way with any substance. Like I don't drink when I'm sad.
Right.
I'm just like,
I'm not saying that I don't think that
I don't eat
exists
when I'm
where
sad.
where people get depressed and eat their feelings, and people are in bad places in their life and they eat and get heavy. I think that exists for sure. I
Right.
just don't think that applies. People say that applies to everybody that they gain weight. I don't think that applies to everybody. I can't. I love the taste of sweets, and
I've probably never really agreed with you as much as I do right now. Because it's one of my biggest things that like aggravates me is when I see a skinny person tell fat people that even like a happy fat person who seems genuinely happy, they're
Yeah.
like, you're fat because
Yeah.
there's something deeper. Like,
right.
do you ever think that maybe they do just like food and it's a vice?
Yeah.
And it's like,
and
they're not
they
miserable.
prioritize that over. They're not so
Exactly.
hung up on looking as like
Exactly.
the way you do. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's- yeah.
That's how I almost feel the reverse, where people who are skinny they're so caught up on their looks, where
Yeah.
I almost think I'd rather maybe have some deep issue and eat my fucking feelings than be so caught up on looks that like fat people disgust me and I just have to like condescend them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, there's body image issues in both ways, I guess.
He eats
But
this fruit snack.
I'm eating a Boston. You ever have one of these?
No, I don't know what you're eating.
Boston.
I've never seen that.
They're called Boston fruit slices, and they're little. Like looks like a slice of orange. It's immaculate.
Immaculate.
It's not healthy though.
It's
right?
immaculate.
No, but it's
sweet.
one
I don't
slice.
think yours is
Okay.
the right word there.
I did. But here's the thing. We are not, even though we're all eaters,
Eaters, huh?
we're not to the point of the whale eater.
No, I know. That's
so
a
I think
different-
that is a specific sickness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Like
all,
you
it's
could be a
different thing.
chubby guy and not go manic with your food, right?
Yeah. Which is why I'm saying, like, I look at that. You talk about that scene where he's like putting together this gross food, and it doesn't.
Can't he just get something good to eat?
Yeah, I don't comprehend that. But like you're saying, but I'm coming at a guy who likes to eat because I like the taste of food, not because I'm just like
Also,
I'm feeding something in me that I can't.
I've never been like, oh my God, I need to eat. Like I need to, I want to eat because like I get something bad because I'm like, this is so fucking good.
Yes and no. I definitely have eaten things that I like around the house. Like, you ever been like so hungry and you got really nothing, so you end up like you have something in the cabinet. Like, I guess I'll eat this, and like you're not even really enjoying it, but you just need to eat something.
That's different because you're hungry. I mean, eat.
But is it always because you're hungry? I've definitely done it because I'm bored. Like, I've definitely have eaten because I'm bored, and I have something in the house.
You so just like, I need to eat anything where it's like I'm gonna fucking put mayo on bread.
Not if it's gross.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, it's not what I want, but it's not.
It'll do the job for right
exactly.
now. I've done. I do that a lot.
I probably have eaten some gross stuff though. Sometimes I like to mix flavors.
But that's gross things that you find good.
I find them good. Like you like to dip.
I was just gonna say, like I dip buttered bagels into chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Yes, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have your own.
I feel like I'm putting together this quiz. I feel like that was one of the questions on the quiz. But then you guys keep answering these quiz questions in conversation, so it's rendering
it's rendering my again because under the spot, like when you ask the question, you might not.
Like we said, he will forget that he just said that by the end of the podcast.
Well, he's not going to forget. Like I'm putting together questions about him directed towards you. It's not like questions for both of you. It's like I have questions for you about him, and I have questions for you about him. So, but like if you're going to remember,
well, I can't wait.
I won't. I don't remember anything about him.
Yeah, I think that. But like,
kidney.
So there's two things on it.
I'm gonna know a lot about you.
You are.
I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe he shocks us. He's shocked us before.
Yeah.
He has.
Yeah.
There's something in there. I said there's something.
Well,
rolling around in that
always say
head.
the memories are there.
And accessing the memories.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a matter of
they're in the basement.
At some point I need to stop smoking pot. And
you're low on RAM.
I'm gonna be that guy who, like, when he quits pot, has like he's like becomes like a genius, remembers everything.
He comes up with a new app,
like George Costanza when he stops having sex.
Yeah,
he's banging on all cylinders.
They call me Tommy Clear Thoughts now.
What were we saying just before that?
Oh.
Food. Oh yeah. So combining food. So that's not disgusting to me. I wouldn't do that, but it's like I get it. It's all like breakfast food. It's sweets and it's chocolate. I don't know, you could add chocolate to almost anything to me, and I'm down. But like even last night, like, I went to a place where like build your own burger. So it was I got like the Impossible Burger, which to me, like, have you ever had one of them?
What's the Impossible? Oh, that's the non-meat.
Yeah, it's all, but it's so good. I swear to God, if you ordered a burger and they gave you one of those, I don't think you'd even know.
I would probably know it's different, but I would maybe still like it.
If you looked at it, if you liked your burgers rare and they brought that out, you'd tell because it's like not usually bleeding, like red.
Gotcha.
But the texture of it and all that, I don't, that's besides the point. They're not that healthy for you. Like I don't people like, it's not, I'm like, I know it's not healthy for me. I just like burgers. Like a beef patty's not healthy for you either. It's just I don't want to eat the animal.
I want to eat the burger.
I'm not eating because it's healthy.
You
I'm eating
choose
because
what works for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us.
Yeah, right. I don't have to justify my
You don't
diet
justify
chart.
your diet.
But then the build your own burger is always like, does this work with this? And does this work with that? So I went with like the what did I get? Gorgonzola cheese?
Don't like it.
I hate gorgonzola.
I love gorgonzola
Yucky.
cheese. Yucky. Yucky.
I'm not like, I love cheese, but I'm also not like the more expensive and there's like the sharper the smell, the less I'm like, oh,
We like cheap cheese.
Yeah.
Cheap cheese couch
give me
over there.
Swiss, mozzarella, and American.
Cheddar?
I'm a cheddar boy.
I love cheddar.
Cheddar boy?
I'll take like jalapeno cheese or
Sharp cheddar? My mother once said it best. Cheddar can't get sharp enough. That's the way I feel. Like extra sharp. Like if they had something above extra
I
sharp,
don't even get what the sharp
I want like a triple X.
Yeah, I don't
I want
either.
a triple
What
X
does
sharp.
the sharp mean? Can
It's
you explain that to
more
me?
sharp cheddar, more sharp.
It's just like more of like a
flavor.
like a bittery, like when your jaw reacts to it more. Like
Yeah.
you just get that tingly in your jaw, like the. Yeah.
I can't do like the feta cheeses and the
I don't like a lot of those
and like
soft
the
cheeses.
brie or whatever what's it called?
Brie cheese,
Brie
good.
cheese,
I like
yeah.
it all. I like
I can't do all
brie. I like goat cheese. I like
Yeah, I'm like, once we start getting into those, I'm like,
port wine. That's to
I've
me.
never even heard of port wine cheese.
You've seen it
Yeah,
at
you've
parties.
seen
It's like a red and orange marbled cheese. It's usually on a plate. That to me is like the cheap man's fancy, like the broke man's fancy cheese is a port wine. Because I remember as a kid being like, "Oh, that's good stuff."
What's like
But
the
if you went to the Hamptons and put out like port wine, they'd be like, "This is not nice. Like this is not what we expect." They want like an aged something.
You know,
why is it that they have like it's like the more bitter it is like the better? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Well, it's a matter of taste. Like
Some
if
people
you don't
like
like it, I like all types of cheese. Like I really truly like. I don't like a Swiss that much, but on something on something I like a Swiss. But I'm not going to just.
In a while.
I don't just want like Swiss and
is like
crackers.
my go-to.
No,
Swiss. So you love Swiss.
I love Swiss.
Would you
Like
put
if I have cold cuts, I usually get melted Swiss.
melted Swiss?
yeah, I like that on there. But I'm saying like if you put it in like a charcuterie plate and they got cheeses on it and stuff. I'm never picking up a piece of Swiss.
Oh, I'll pick
sharp cheddar
Swiss.
is my favorite cheese.
Oh, and
Just
see-
a block of.
I need to eat the sharp cheddar. I mean, not that I couldn't eat it, just eat it, but I prefer it with a cracker.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and a
it's
crackers.
great on cracker. But I don't like it too thick. I don't like it too thick. I don't want it to overpower. I want like a perfect blend of cracker and cheese.
I hate when it's the cubes. Why every cheese platter should be thinly sliced. I like a little bit
Yeah, yeah,
thicker.
yeah.
You know
but the
why?
cubes because you
are good with
can't.
a toothpick.
Yeah, but that's when you're just eating that. But when they put out the cubes of cheese and the crackers, I'm like, you can't. It's not a right ratio to eat a
not.
cracker and then a big chunk of cheese
Get a
on top
couple,
of it.
You just get two.
But that's too thick for me.
That's too much cheese.
But it's smaller. I mean, I get it. I agree with you.
I understand it's smaller.
I'm all about thin. I
too.
don't like thick cut. I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's all about thin.
Yeah, I'm shallow. I'm shallow with my food.
Yep. So continue. I'm at the edge of my seat with this Build-A-Burger. We
So-
paused you at Gargonzola.
Yeah, so gorgonzola I love. So I went with gorgonzola. So my God, but what goes good with the gorgonzola? So I got
Nothing.
sauteed mushrooms.
A garbage can?
Sauteed mushrooms.
Okay,
And-
I don't like those.
Fried onions.
Fried onions, I like.
Okay,
I love
so got
fried
that.
We finally
So
hit
good.
on one.
Yeah.
I've realized.
So to me,
I'm sorry,
I think
Doug.
all those things, whether you like them or not, I like those flavors together. Then they say, "Do you want a sauce?" I'm like, "Is the sauce going to be too much with the gorgonzola?" I feel like the gorgonzola cheese is almost the sauce in itself.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? Yeah, I will take a garlic aioli. on that.
Garlic
aioli.
You can't go wrong with a garlic aioli,
Yeah.
I feel, and they're a good dipping fry.
I enjoy that.
She goes, "Do you want it on the side or on the burger?" I said, "You know what? I'm not
On
so
the
sure of
side.
it. Give me it on the side." And then I got a sauce for my fries.
Can I tell you some devastating news? Now that my taste is coming back, one taste that isn't hitting me correctly is a lot of sauces, ketchups. I'm tasting them, but I don't love it as much. Maybe I got used to not. Sauce
Not-
was my middle name, and now I'm not
This whole
like
fridge is useless now.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, I threw most of it out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
went
I
on a
did.
special journey to Target to buy a sauce.
I did.
Yeah.
But it's not with me. I left it with my parents. I was gonna bring.
I thought I was getting that. and
You
sent it
were,
to your
but
parents.
I had already brought it to my parents.
That's
if they're
fine.
not using it.
I'm good.
I enjoy a garlic aioli, but I'll never think to order that.
Ripped
What
sock.
about your socks? Your baby blue socks?
These are brand new out of the box Bombas.
Can I explain my rip? These are my one of two Nick socks.
Oh my God, those are
That's what I'm saying. Do you see what's in
two
front of you?
severe rips. On it.
Because because these are my good luck Nick
It's
socks.
like cartoonishly ripped.
It is what it is. I
They're
can't.
good luck Nick socks.
So
If I
can't
had
throw them
socks
out.
that looked that dirty and that ripped, I would not put them on my friend's table
Now let me ask you a question.
I'm
during a
sorry.
podcast.
I don't care.
They are clean.
Yeah, I don't
sure
care.
they are.
Yeah, they
He's
just
very
got
clean.
You can't
just
see on the
don't
camera.
look-
There's two huge holes on bottoms of both of them.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah, I would not be able to walk around like that.
It
It would
is
drive me
annoying,
fucking
right?
nuts.
Yeah.
Feeling out of my
Honestly,
shoe.
I don't feel them that much, and sometimes I'll put a sock under these
There you go. That's not
Oh,
too
okay.
bad. Why don't we just put them in your
because
pocket?
they're really only being worn for good luck reasons.
how long?
Not-
How long you been wearing them? Because the Knicks have only started doing well.
You know when it doesn't
recently.
matter? It's just like these are my game day socks
Yeah.
Those are the game
for
day
playoffs, and I need to get a new pair.
I like them. I might buy you a pair.
I'm sure the team thanks you for your
They do.
hard work.
Speaking of the Knicks,
It's not as bad as a rip in the toe. That sock. I'll stop in the middle of the day, take
That's
my
all.
shoe off, and I'd go barefoot before I walk around with it.
I actually agree with you. I couldn't if it was the toe rip; they'd be in the garbage. But because it's almost like part of the sock now.
Yeah, it's like Aaron.
is the other one
It
ripped
is.
on-
It's a little air.
It's a little vent. Yeah, in the same spot. So you must do a lot of friction going on. That's that area of the foot, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe I don't walk properly.
Maybe that's from like getting out of the car and into the car.
Do
I
you
don't
rub your
know.
feet together like a cricket, like a
You know what I do a
grasshopper?
lot that I realize? I think that's why a lot of my socks, like I have to go through socks a lot. It's because I do a lot of. If I have an itch,
That's what it is.
Yeah, you're
I
rubbing-
itch a lot.
You're itching the same spot it's worn down in.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I can't believe he doesn't know. He goes, it's like this at the
Yeah,
same.
you know what it might be? Possibly is when I take my sharp toenails and rip it against my socks.
That's some detective work right there.
I nailed it.
You did.
So yeah, gourmet burgers and Port Jeff nailed it. Knocked
Is
out,
it a good?
knocked out of the
It's
box.
good. You like this
awesome,
place?
Yeah.
Were you happy with all your decisions?
I thought I came together perfectly. Yeah.
All right. Good.
What did Monique order?
She got sautéed onions. What kind
You
of
guys are
cheese?
big sauteed onions fans.
I got sautéed mushrooms. She got sautéed onions.
I'm sorry.
Or like caramelized onions, I think they call them.
Yeah.
I like onions, but I'm starting to realize that I think red onions are my favorite.
Oh, I love a red, but like it's just a raw. You just need like a raw onion.
A raw red on
Yeah.
a burger. At
Yeah,
least.
it's great.
That's
But sometimes, the last couple of times I've gotten that, they've given me like the whole slice through. I'm like,
much.
that's
Oh,
too much onion.
yeah,
you
that's-
can't get a whole layer of
I need like
onion.
three.
Yeah, a
Three
couple
little
rings.
circles. Yeah, a couple.
So every
rings.
bite, you get a couple of rings in there.
Exactly.
You know what
Yeah.
kind of onion I like? You know when they it's I like the what you said, the caramelite, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I also like when they do is it like pickled or something? It becomes like a real deep, like purpley red like-
Onion. Yeah.
what is that? They put it in like
Yeah,
like
it's pickled onions.
pickled onions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those are good.
What does pickled mean per se? Like
It's just like marinating in like
okay,
a, like
I
a
thought,
vinegar.
all right, I just
Yeah.
wanna-
Put it in vinegar for like a
I just want to make sure.
Who was it? What, I saw some clip. Was it a comic or somebody said it was maybe? But I had actually never believed it. Somebody was like, "Why do like they pickle so many different types of produce? You get pickled this, pickled that. Why don't they pickle? The only thing they don't pickle is cucumbers." And then, yeah, everyone was like,
because they become pickles.
I was like, "That's what a pickle is. Like, that's what we've all."
Is this
So-
guy messing with
I don't know.
people?
Like it was a clip, and I'm like. People like stitching it on social media, like this person is so stupid. I'm like, I think they probably were doing this on purpose.
You know what?
Yeah.
I almost could see how that could be so obvious that you don't think about
think
it. when
about
But
you
it's
say
not. It's not
Yeah.
because why wouldn't you say
pickles.
apples?
Yeah,
Like he
right.
picks the one thing.
One
Like there's
thing that
other there's other stuff we don't pickle,
uh-huh.
and he picks the one thing that is a
They
pickle.
never pickle apples.
I don't know.
think
That's
so.
what I've seen. But
Oh, no, I'm just asking.
I mean, you could pickle anything.
you could pickle, yeah.
I mean, that's what it seems like. It's like
Yeah.
you can do it to anything.
But you don't see that. You don't see pickled pineapple anywhere.
You know how long
Yeah.
it takes for a cucumber to become a pickle?
Depends what kind of
It's-
pickling we're
Yeah,
doing.
you can. The longer you let it sit, the more. Yeah.
I've looked
Is that
into
really
pickling.
all it is? Is a time thing on how they change the type of
Oh,
pickle?
I don't know. No, you put
think
like
so.
you put certain seasoning
That's
in
what
it.
I was
and-
just going to say. I
Yeah.
figured it was seasoning in
Yeah,
it.
because the sour pickles now. There's
Yeah.
now they've been around for a
I
while.
prefer a sweet pickle over a sour pickle any day.
I like a bread and butter, but I
Bread
also
and butter is my. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Bread
I
and
don't
butter is my
know.
go-to.
I feel like I disagree with you. I don't know if I know exactly. What's like when you get like just like pickle chips, like or like what do they put like on sandwiches? Those are sour. Those are
Those
sour.
could be bread and butter.
They're usually they could, but usually if you're getting like a classic, the classic Vlasic, is that Vlasic? Was that what it's called? What kind of pickles?
How about
do
a spear? Like what is that normally? That's a
it's
sour.
usually-
That's a sour pickle.
The
Normally.
McDonald's pickle is like a sour pickle,
That's what I like. A
but
sour
not,
pickle.
not a real sour though.
but it's
It's
I don't
like
think
a
I
half
don't like
sour.
a sweet pickle. I think.
Oh, so we
like
like
you like
sweet.
the little ones, like those little ones.
the
like-
ones that the bread and butter I could eat like chips.
Yeah, and they're in like a I can't speak this morning. My brain isn't. See, he gets high in the morning. My brain doesn't kick in until around
Yeah.
3:30, 4 o'clock. But they have like onions in them, sometimes little red peppers. Like there's all little accoutrements inside of the box.
Yeah.
A
It's
what?
not a box.
Accoutrements?
Yeah,
I never heard of that before. I never heard that word.
Accoutrement.
learning.
I never. That was a good one.
Yeah. So but they came with a nice pickle spear, but I gave it to Monique because she likes pickles more than I do. I love a pickle, but sometimes I feel like if I'm with somebody who loves pickles,
gotta
even if
go.
I like a pickle, I'm like, you get out my pickle.
If you
Exactly.
love somebody,
I never want the pickle enough to stop somebody else who loves them from having their glory.
Yeah. If this will make you happy, you have a pickle.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
But
we
I'm
are
alone.
recording this on Mother's Day. Oh wait, are we not able to revert? Oh.
No, we're good.
we
Yeah,
can
I
be
think
honest
we're
with
done
the,
talking
with the
about
folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no.
we're recording on Mother's Day, and chicks in a pickle.
Oh, speaking of that, I wanted to make a clip of this last week, but I got too annoyed watching the episode, so I'm like, no episodes.
Should
no,
we
no
apologize
clips.
to everyone?
Is that why there was no?
I
clips?
sat down, I started making clips. Like I just thought I was getting annoyed watching it, so I'm like, no clips this episode, no clips. But I realized I completely missed a joke this week, so I'm looking like that was a really funny joke. Maybe I was too focus on other things. But when you said you got deposed, and he said you got deposed, and I got to draw him, I didn't really. It really didn't register with me. I'm like, if I would have caught that, I would have busted out laughing.
Well, you weren't paying attention that whole.
I wasn't.
You
focused.
had a rough day.
Yeah.
It felt like, if I felt personally like that, we rushed you to do this episode early. And
I didn't rush. I just got my equipment. I got my new equipment late, and instead of just like recording normally and then getting around to the equipment and then feeling more comfortable,
wanted to use
I
it?
wanted to use it as soon as I got it. So that was my
Okay.
fault. That was my problem.
It just seemed like I felt like you were rushed last week.
Yeah, I didn't even want to say anything. I felt a little
Yeah,
bad.
that was a bad.
But listen, we appreciate
Anyway,
you.
but anyway, I just want to say I thought that you were like, it was dumb, and I was like, no, that's not dumb. That was a great joke.
Well, I'm
But
glad because nobody laughed.
I
so
caught it.
thank you.
I just didn't. I just
probably
didn't get it.
didn't
I just
get
didn't
it.
get it.
Listen,
at
if
first.
I can get a laugh out of you in post, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I also think I didn't hear the word. I didn't know the word deposed. I don't think so. I think I was kind of like processing that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so you're in a pickle. So yes. Speaking of puns, Chick is in a pickle.
The sour pickle. He's always a sour.
At least we got the episode name down this week.
Chick's in a pickle.
Or just pickle,
like it.
something with pickled.
Pickled babies.
Pickled babies. Big Nick fan, as you all know.
Get out of here. I guess not everyone's watching the video, but
I was thinking that I'm wearing everything I'm wearing.
but if anyone follows the Instagram, they've seen the pictures for like the
Yeah.
the announcements, and you've worn a Knicks
the
shirt.
same jersey, probably every.
You've worn a
Yeah,
Knicks shirt the last
it's
6
the- it's
weeks,
the
so
start. I change into my jersey at game time. I have it.
It's game day for
I
me.
think
game
you were
day.
dolled up last week with some Knicks
He had the
attire.
hat.
I had the
black
hat. I had the hat. But it's Mother's Day, so
Do we want a mother shirt?
Yeah, what the
No, no,
fuck
no,
is that? You're not eating it.
no. Because after this, I'm gonna go put on my nice clothes.
Okay.
So
I never understood that, but we'll get to that after.
you
Yeah.
putting on nice clothes? You never understood that?
No, you know what?
It's a shock.
We'll get back to I wear
his
nice clothes every day
Holy
now.
socks and
I wear nice clothes every day, so I
right.
don't like wearing them outside it. But so it's Mother's Day. Me, I love my mother.
what do you love more, the Knicks or your mother?
My mother. But we usually do a brunch. Well, I shouldn't say usually. The last few years we've done a Mother's Day brunch. And my mother for months now has been adamant that we're not doing a brunch this year. I want to do a dinner.
And I would agree with her because the brunch, it's over and the day's over.
And,
Yeah.
and I agree too.
You have nothing to look forward
And
to.
that's kind of why I think she was like, it was fun while we did it. And then it would always end around 2, maybe 3 o'clock. And then it's like,
and then everybody goes their
you're
own
home
way.
and it's like a regular day. So I get it. And
Where would you do brunch? Like places that had like.
Well, we went to a couple places once, and then we had them catered at my brother's a couple times where
Okay.
we had family come by.
It's so expensive though.
It is. No, I agree.
And the food's not great. You can't put out that much food and have it be as good as just a place making.
The brunch in particular is expensive because I don't usually do brunch.
Holiday brunches are
Just
expensive.
just like a
Yeah.
Mother's Day brunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
we went to a couple places. Oh, well, not a couple. We did a place once that was actually awesome, like a buffet type morning.
I guess I'm thinking like I've
Mother-
gone to like catering halls. Like we used to go to Eastwind.
That's what we did.
We used
It
to go to
was-
like Eastwind and like a couple other places. This year, I was telling him we're taking my mother to Red Lobster this year because
Cheddar
she said she goes, I don't want to do like one of those buffets. She goes, they're too expensive. I don't like the food as much. And her favorite restaurant is Red Lobster.
Hey, you know what?
So
And that's
I'm like,
what it's about.
why are we acting like, oh, we can't go to the place that she likes to go to because it's Mother's Day? Like that's where she wants to go.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, where would you like to eat? She goes, Red Lobster. I like Red Lobster.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, let's go there.
It doesn't matter. It's for your mother. Whatever she
Exactly.
wants to do.
Yeah.
It's her favorite
So
spot.
let's stop acting like we're not somebody we're not.
Yeah,
We have to do it,
100%. So, and I was. So my mother comes outside. She's like, "All right, yeah, we're going out to Villa d'Aqua. It's in Belmore on Mother's Day. We're going at." I go, "What time?" Now I know what time the Knick game's on.
Nah.
I know it's on Mother's Day, and she's like, "Yeah, 4:30," and I'm like, "All right,
Oh,
awesome."
that's it. That's a good son.
Well, she knows I'm not happy. I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "We couldn't do it a little later," like.
Yeah.
No, I want to do it at 4:30. That's what time we're doing it. And she's adamant about it this year. So I'm like,
Doing it the same exact time.
Yeah.
Same 4:30.
exactly. And you know what? We're like, for Sundays, our Italian heritage kicks in where we like to eat early usually on Sundays.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't get it, but we do it. So they want to do the early dinner. I'm like, hey, we can't do 5:36. My sister-in-law is always on my mother's side. Like, yeah, no, let's do 4:30. So I'm like, fuck. So yesterday we're at my nephew's soccer game, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, I'm just letting you know, I'm gonna have my phone. Like the Knick game's gonna be on my phone. Like I won't be sitting
Like
there
streaming the phone, the game itself.
Oh yeah,
like,
the game will be streamed, and I'll just put it up against a drink, and I'll just leave it there.
So you can check in on it.
Yeah, exactly. I said I won't
And
let it.
occasionally go, Or, "Gah!"
That's what my sister-in-law was making fun of. She's like, "So you're gonna go all, gonna go crazy at the table?" I said, "No. I'm just gonna keep it so I could see it. I won't be cheering, and I don't want to act like my nephews who have the iPads. I don't know if they have them on a Mother's Day dinner.
Be acting like he's having a conversation. Be like, so how's work? Jesus Christ.
So that's my pickle. I have to watch this big Knick game in a restaurant on my phone.
It'd be better if it was even a little, like if it started at 3:30 the same time. At least by the time you're wrapping up, then you can watch the end of the. You're watching the end of the game.
Yeah. We're missing the final. We're
missing the good part.
Yeah, we're gonna miss the best part.
Yeah.
So I think it might help my nerves because it's been a lot. There's been 8 games in a row where it's been literally like a nail biter every single game.
Yeah.
To the point where last game I feel like I was trying to catch my breath the whole game. Like I was.
It's 1-1 now.
2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, we're still in good position.
And I don't sleep well. Like
Wait, 2-1. Who's up?
The Knicks.
Oh,
the Knicks are up 2-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank God.
You have trouble sleeping usually a lot.
It's not that I have trouble. I go to bed. I can get to sleep. I wake up a lot.
You wake up a lot. I'm pretty good with my sleep. Like I'll be in bed mostly by midnight. These games, after it's over,
yeah, it's like coming down.
You don't. I can't sleep. I'm up, whether they win or they lose. So it just like I had to walk. I walked around the block after the last game. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
funny.
It does.
Did you try jerking off?
After the
I'm
game,
not being an asshole.
they
I'm being
lose.
serious.
That's just like too
No,
much.
just to kind of wind you down.
I have tried that.
He knows
but
I'm right. I'm not,
not during these.
That doesn't work for me, but
playoff games.
I understand most people that works. Yeah.
Sometimes
I feel like sometimes it goes the opposite way for me.
Oh,
when
you
you're
get
jerking
it?
off,
Yeah,
you get
I
more
get-
ants. God bless you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do a nice little walk around.
I'm
the block.
lucky if I don't fall asleep by the time I'm still like.
Oh God.
This is a little gross. Do you prep your cleanup situation before you start?
I use tissues off the bat. I wrap them around, so it's just an easy. It goes right into the tissue and tissue in the garbage.
Oh,
Wait, you use a tissue around your hand?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
like as if it's a glove.
Doesn't just like get shredded as you go.
You use a couple. You got to wrap it like a couple.
Oh, as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And they must look like the socks at the end by the time you're
It
done.
doesn't matter. It just goes right
And is that
in.
like too much dry friction there with that?
No. Don't worry. I got it down to a science.
I'm
got
sure
it.
you're doing just fine with it. I'm just, I wonder
4 tissues.
4 tissues. You have a certain
tissues like
Tissues.
Scott's like out of a
4
tissue box.
tissues.
Tissues I could never
and you wrap it around like almost like you have a broken wrist.
like. Yeah.
No, it's not wrapped around my hand like that.
It's wrapped around his.
My
Oh,
thing,
it's
and
wrapped
then
around
It's almost put on like a
bird's nest.
like a bird, and then exactly.
So it catches.
This is madness.
It really is.
I can't believe that just came out on this. I never
I
once
can't-
expected that, and it's not.
I can't believe that image is now stuck in my head. No, the Knicks
So-
win. I'm gonna see that.
It's not often. I'm not a big, I'm not one to do it often. Even though I don't get laid now, I just don't even care anymore. But
Yeah.
the time
Yeah.
it's been years of practice, so when I have it's down to
That's
a
just the
science.
way you.
That's
So
the way
no
I've been
lotion.
doing it.
You're dry. I mean, you're on the other end of dry. You're like there's like lotion or there's dry. You're like, how can I get it even drier?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
How can
but it's not like an all day event. It's usually just.
No, it's.
But I don't.
I take a while. Like, even
I
when I'm
don't-
alone, I take a while. So
Of course,
Yeah,
he does.
I do.
everything with you is just an ordeal with that.
yeah,
What do you do? Tantric
No,
masturbation or something?
it's just I just get like it just takes too long. I need like the stars have to align.
Well, it doesn't-
Honestly, it's not often, but when I do, that's just down to a science. I don't like cleanup. I'm all about not clean. It's always
Yeah, but
trying
there's
to be.
other, like it doesn't like I've never like it's not. I'm never struggling to clean it myself, and I don't have napkins wrapped around me. Like
Yeah, but if you're just going all over the place, where are you gonna go? I guess because I've always done this, that I don't really.
Yeah.
The other option is to come on myself, and I can't.
Yeah, you
I
don't
just
want
don't
that.
want to do that.
But we'll get lost in there, you know?
In my stomach, and then you got
Yeah.
in your belly button like remnants. Who the fuck wants that?
How did we get here?
So you've never. So the idea of a fleshlight is out of the question.
I told you I've tried that, and it was great, and I just like I can't.
Too much work,
It's just
yeah.
but
Not
it's
worth it.
also
It's something with the napkins and the fleshlight that this is too much
the
stuff.
napkins go right in the garbage. The fleshlight, if I die, somebody's gonna find my fleshlight, and that's gross.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they are going to find this audio footage, though. So
I
You
don't
know
like
what? It is what
napkin.
it is,
I never
man.
liked because like the napkins are too thin. I feel like I'm like I end up
you're
like
not
I end up.
getting-
If you use one or two, it's not. But sometimes, like if you have four,
How many
even
like
though
it's
the
like
top
stuck to me.
one-
I feel like I decoupage my dick. Like it doesn't you know that term decoupage.
Not that old. That went right over my head.
I need a paper towel. I need something of substance that's not going to just break apart and just
Oh, the
get
tissue
stuck
does it
everywhere.
when you have a few of them. Trust
All
me.
right, I'm not
It's like a
questioning
bed
you.
of it.
I
and you leave a little room, so it's really not friction. It's almost like it's really
it's softer
yeah
in your hand. Yeah.
exactly.
yeah. Well, it depends how many plies.
Wow. Yeah. This is well. Happy
Charmin
Mother's Day.
Ultra?
Right after Mother's Day, that's what
Happy
we got
Mother's Day.
into.
And are you doing a brunch thing?
No, I'm doing a 4:30 dinner.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to come back after all of that. But I'm doing a nice dinner. I probably will have the Nick game. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't like the idea of having the game on while I'm watching the watching the game while I'm with my family.
While I'm watching my mother eat.
No, because I don't know. My nieces are there. I don't know. I enjoy.
Exactly.
I enjoy the going out to dinner with
So
the family.
do I.
so-
That's why I hate this.
That's why we're in a pickle. But to me, the Knicks kind of are on the back burner today, and that's why I'm not. I don't get the respect that Mr. Tissue gives.
Let's just forget that convo and move on from that.
We should.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like if the Vikings were in a playoff game, how would I? Because I just my natural approach to that is like, who gives a fuck? You miss one game, big deal. You catch it.
I agree with
but
you.
it's a like I'm rooting for the Knicks. I hope they pull through. I don't just because I used to be a Knicks fan and I'm like
Yeah.
that'd be cool if the Knicks won and I'm happy for Knicks fans.
Yeah.
But if it's a team I cared about, like I was with them all year, like if I watched the Vikings, pretty close all year.
And
like,
this is like,
if they
we're
win a
not here
playoff game, would I
often.
be like, I'm not making you party. Like I'm going to watch the Vikings game.
Yeah, listen, there's certain things I've been, oh, sorry, bro, you're out.
Yeah.
The Jets now, if the Jets were in a playoff game and it fell on something, my whole family is in the same boat.
There's also a lot less games. Every game
Yeah.
is it's a one
Problem
game
is,
series.
I'm like
it's
the
like
only Nick fan. Like my dad likes him, but doesn't care. My brother likes him,
Yeah.
doesn't care. And that's
I'm
it.
excited. If
Yeah.
they make it to the finals, I'll probably I'll probably
I just want them
buy
to
in.
get
I'll
out of
probably
this
watch.
round right now.
The other thing is,
It's so funny because when I was a Knicks fan, it was always the Pacers. It was
yeah,
like-
that's it.
It
This
was
is like it's just
Reggie
always that.
Reggie Miller was a
Fucking
fucking
Reggie
such
Miller.
an asshole. Like I couldn't stand him, and I was just like that was.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
I've always hated the
It was
Pacers.
like the Mets and the Braves. Like when I was a big Met fan, I
Mets
was
are
always
playing
like
the Braves right now.
it was like Mets. I was like fuck these guys. Like you just can hate a team so much.
Now I remember this is funny because when I was younger, Knicks in I think '95 playoffs, Knicks are playing the Pacers. Reggie Miller had that 8-point game. You know what I'm talking about? Heartbreaking loss. It was around this time of year, and I remember vividly leaving to go to dinner for a Mother's Day thing with the whole family. That game. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget it. You could fact check me on that. It was a Sunday, and we went out to dinner,
believe you.
and I missed the last 5 minutes. We got in the car as Reggie was killing us, and then we lost the game. I had to listen on the radio.
Wow.
And that I did not handle well because I was a kid. But now
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it is what it is.
You have
It
a
is
little
just
more.
a game.
98 was the 4-point play, or 99, one of those. 98.
I don't know. It was a Reggie Miller 8-point game. It was like he only scored 8 points.
No. He had 8 points in 20 seconds,
Oh,
15
okay,
seconds.
okay. I was gonna say that doesn't sound like Reggie Miller.
Yeah, we were up 6.
right.
Yeah.
And
I think
we lost by 2.
I think Greg Anthony fouled him. Maybe
No,
God.
it was
I think it was Greg Anthony.
Oh,
well,
That was
fouled
like the
him.
height of like
Greg
like
Anthony, number
Spike
50.
Lee and him like
Oh, yeah.
jarred
Oh, yeah.
at each other on this
big time,
yeah.
big time. Well,
That was
you know,
fun.
let's hope they win today, and I enjoy Mother's Day.
Yeah, so do I.
By the way, I went out. What do you got your mom flowers? You guys, what do you? I know
I
you
got
say
my mother.
sometimes.
Well,
got
yeah, I
a
usually
card
don't get
that
her
made
anything.
tear up.
What?
I got a card that made it tear up today. I'm already
that's good.
+1. I crushed it.
Oh, you already gave it. Oh, yeah.
Was it
woke up
what
to
you
give
wrote, or did you write anything extra? Or
No,
was
I
it
just
what the
find
card said?
cards that's like me writing. I'm not a good writer, so I find.
Yeah, I get
don't
that.
just get a card. Like I'm not a just grab a card.
I'm the
guy.
same way. I will pine over a card. The hardest is buying a card for somebody who you don't have a lot of emotion for. Like,
Well, then I don't care. I usually find something ridiculous to get them.
but it's like there's certain people in my family like that you're obligated to get a card for, and it's like you kind of look at it and you're like, I don't feel like it's like, oh, you've always been. I'm like, I don't.
I don't
you got
believe
you got to
this.
search for like a card that's like, hey, it's the day and you're the thing, and
I learned my lesson on that
Yeah.
because I used to just grab and go, and one year for Mother's Day I got a missing you on this Mother's Day card.
yikes!
Yee.
You
So-
literally just picked a card.
Literally, I saw. Went to the thing. I was like, "Oh, it's got a nice cover and stuff." and
my
then
God.
you didn't. It wasn't.
That's awful.
Missing you.
You know, in like the
Sorry,
script,
mom.
like,
This is for when you die.
missing you on Mother's, and we all got a laugh out of it. But then I was like, you know, I really should invest. I don't know, 3 minutes to
Yeah.
look for a card, and I do that now. So I got my card this morning. I went and I got the flowers. This was interesting. I noticed when I went to the flower shop, whole line of bouquets, DoorDash,
Bouquets?
Really?
DoorDash
The
flowers.
DoorDash for flowers.
Did you say bouquets? Is it a bouquet? Am I wrong?
I say bouquet. But
What did I say?
I said
Bouquet.
Bouquet. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of flipped.
Sorry.
But yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You can DoorDash Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Like
I guess that's
maybe if you live out of town, I guess
Oh,
it
that's
makes
a good
sense.
idea. You
It
can
makes
just
sense.
send it. You can send it straight to them. It's cheaper than like if you try to buy flowers from like 1-800-Flowers, then they're so
crazy,
expensive.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't buy. I kind of stopped buying greeting cards.
Oh, okay.
I kind of feel like it's a racket. It's all made up, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing it anymore.
You're doing just what you bare bones. You get down to what your mom likes. We like
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
And she
we
likes
don't need
plants.
this
I bought her a
fake
little.
thing.
A little.
She likes
It's like a
plant.
little boot planter, like a little rain boot with planter, and then a
That's
succulent
nice.
in it. I think it's cute.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Everything all right over there, bud?
Yeah.
I want it because I was getting it. I wanted to make sure. I was just reading the.
I know
gift
he's
I got my
doing
mother.
research or something.
No, I'm not. The thing I got my mother was I got her one thing that was a candle that says, "Mom, I hope this candle smells better than the shit I put you through."
Hey.
You would do that.
I had to get her that. I saw that. And I could
So
do it.
it's not in my big plan for my mother's. I wanted to have it for Mother's Day, but we haven't got it. So I've talked about this on the podcast before. I want to sit down with my sisters and I want to film a little podcast about my mother. I want to talk about all the things
Yeah,
we love
you
about her.
mentioned this.
So we're gonna do that. We actually set a date a couple weeks Sunday after we do this. My sisters are coming over. We're gonna have a little. My mother
That's a
won't.
great
My
idea.
mother won't hear this, so I can say this, but I'm really excited about that. I'll put that together for her birthday. Put some photos in there. So because
I would do that too. That's a good idea.
and I said I feel like I want to make this and then I want to sell it. Like come over and like let you
Oh,
like
the idea.
we
yeah.
moved on from dating. Now we're doing Mother's Day.
yeah. Well,
Live
nobody was
cards.
interested in that, or at least the people are so concerned about being on camera.
Yeah, that's the
I
problem.
also got one of those hand crank things.
Hand cranks.
Was this
Like
going back to the
musical
tissues
box?
before?
No. This is it's called a music box, hand crank engraved musical box.
Nice.
Like one of these little
You're making me feel like I'm not doing enough for my mother today.
No, they're two little tchotchkes.
Yeah.
But they have like some nice things.
And what? Something pops up at the end?
Well, it's got music and it's got like
Like
a
a jack
thing
in
that
the
says
box.
like my dear mom, and it's like a nice little sappy.
It'd be great if it
writing
was
on
Tupac just singing "Dear Mama."
Dude, if I could find that, I would have did it in a second. I told my mother if I ever got married, our song would be "Dear Mama."
Yeah. I would love to see that. By the way,
I brought up. Okay, ahead.
no, go.
No, you go.
Speaking of weddings, we have Chris's wedding on Saturday.
Is it this Saturday?
This Saturday, and I'm officiating,
Right.
and I got all the stuff I was telling you the other day. It's a lot.
Is that right here? Is that happening right
Yeah.
here?
And I meant to ask you. Okay, I'll just ask you now. Would it be okay if I left my car here overnight
Yeah.
and then like
Why do
know-
you got to leave your car here?
What day is the wedding?
it's on Saturday?
Yeah, where are you going to go from here? Like, where are you staying?
It's-
Where are you staying?
It's well, Chick, you're going, right?
Yeah.
You drive me home.
Why don't you have me drive you there?
Because I am. Are you going to the actual wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I'll do that. Because I'm doing the whole damn thing. You
You
know?
gotta get there early.
I
yeah.
can't not go to the wedding and just go to the set. That's like an asshole thing to do unless you have an
Okay,
excuse.
all right.
Yeah.
That's better.
Unless you have an excuse, you have to go to the wedding.
Okay.
If you don't, listen, people, if you don't go to the wedding and you just go to the ceremony, you're an asshole.
I've done that a few times.
I said if you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, no, I never have. I've always gone to the wedding. But
That's what they want you there
But if
for.
there's been if there's been a, I could see not doing it if you can't make it there.
If you
then-
can't
I
make
go
it,
to the
you can't
party.
make
Yeah.
it. But if you can make it, you're a piece of shit for not going.
Love going to the party. Don't love going. I also freak out in churches sometimes.
now you're going to be the one doing the thing.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm a little nervous. To
I
be
can't wait
honest.
to heckle you.
Oh man.
Well, it's a lot.
Can I
It's
just go film it? Can I go film that part?
You probably could, right?
I'm
Chris
sure
probably
they're
wouldn't
probably
mind.
going to have a videographer there.
Yes,
Not
there is
worried.
because part of I have to make announcements where I tell people well, there's professional photographers there.
Is he
Yeah.
just saving money with you, having you do a few
It's
different
very
things?
possible. No, I don't think because they're already married, so it's not like I'm officially doing it, but I am going through all the motions.
Yeah.
I'm saying, please rise. The bride's walking down, and
Do you need to tell people? I thought the music was the cue to step up, stand up.
maybe you're just informing everybody. You have to do the please rise. Well, we'll see.
And you're not going to say for the first time is Mr. or Mrs.
I am.
But it's not for the first time.
But I am. It's in my script.
My script.
You just gotta fake it.
Yeah.
So I am. I'm
All rise. That's what you should do.
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna. I'm not great at like reading from. Like I could do stand up comedy because I'm talking about myself, but I'm not great at like going up there and reading something that I'm not familiar
And if something goes wrong or if it bombs, you can comment on something. You can't
But
really
you still
like.
have that in your bag. You could still. That's why he has you do it because you're funny.
I
But
understand.
you don't. But you don't want to take attention away from that. You kind of want to just do the thing and
Right.
not be like try to be funny.
I
Like,
don't want to be that
Not
guy.
try
I
to
don't,
be,
I
but
don't
you
want it
have
to
it.
be like they gave me notes. They said use your Brendan Flair.
Exactly. That's
I
what he
don't-
wants. He
but
wants
I don't
you.
know what my Brendan Flair is, and
He
I
wants
have
you
a
to be you.
I have
and
a
be
friend-
natural and be your comic self.
Yeah.
nervous up there. The last time I was in a church last week for my niece's communion. She got nervous, and I fed off that energy, and I got nervous, and my brother-in-law had to rub my shoulders. So we'll see. You might be in for a treat.
You're
honestly.
supposed to be there for your niece. What the fuck? She gets nervous, so you got nervous,
and I got
then-
nervous. Yeah, but I'm not good like that. I need.
What happens if you're watching your niece and something happens? Like, what are you gonna freak out on her?
No. I told you it's in places where like a church where I'm
Yeah,
stuck.
but you have to be her guy, her comfort.
I'm not in. I am, but not in a situation like that where I'm in a pew.
When I'm in a pew.
When I'm in a pew and I'm like, when I almost feel claustrophobic, and it just everything gets to me. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
This is more pressure. Like being in a wedding is a lot, but this is
that's a whole
this is a whole
different-
nother level.
You
Yeah.
think there's more pressure for this than you're not the best man, are you?
No,
Okay.
That would be a lot.
I was gonna say, imagine having to do that
Go back
and the
here and go over
speech.
there. Yeah.
a best man speech I can knock out though. I've done plenty of best man speech because that's like
Yeah, it's you being
performing
you.
to me.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. I know how to write that. I know, but this is different. This is a completely different animal.
So you've been a best man a couple times.
Yeah, like three or four times.
Wow, that's a severe amount of times
Sometimes
to be a best man.
Twice I shared
Three
it.
idiots.
Twice I shared it with. Listen, twice I shared it with.
Yeah, I
somebody.
mean, I've been a best man, but I think just a best man once, and then I've been in a couple of the wedding parties. But yeah, that's a best man is.
I've been involved in a bunch.
I've been in a couple wedding parties. Not a best man. I'm not a best man type.
One of my biggest
I might
regrets.
put you as a best man if I got married.
I would love to do your speech.
I was in a. This is kind of going off topic, but one of my biggest regrets in life. Not a regret, but you ever have like something in your life you look back on, and you kind of like cringe, and you go, "I can't believe I said that or I did that."
Oh,
and it's
God,
like you wish
all
you
the
could go
time.
back and
You'll probably do that a lot.
yeah. I was in a wedding party, and this was the time in my life where like things were kind of. I had like a fucked up view of how people were living life. Like my life like was kind of disconnected from how the real world. You ever see that episode of Friends where like they got free porn and they just kept like obsessing about watching it. And like they just because they didn't know when they were going to lose it, so they were just watching porn all day.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
That was
then
Joey
they were like
and,
out in the real world and they couldn't understand like why porn things weren't happening in the real world. Like the world doesn't make sense. I was at the teller and like she didn't ask me to come back there. And, like, they couldn't grasp like their vision of reality was all
It all changed.
Yeah.
screwed up. And I was kind of living sexually deviantly, you know. And I just kind of like you just kind of assume that's how other people are living it. So. There was a girl in the wedding party, and Cheryl had met her. This was like years ago. Cheryl had met her at like the bridal party, and Cheryl came home and told me, she goes, "Oh, you're gonna like this girl. Like she's your type, you know." Because we always had that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't really very open and
Yeah.
So you kind of have you feel like, oh, that's how everyone is, you know. So then I meet this girl, and like the first thing I said to her was like, "Oh, my wife is right." She said I like it.
That's what you said.
Yeah, it was the first thing I said to her.
Wow.
And like I cringed at thinking like, because like she was like a nice Christian woman. You know, like her father was the minister doing the wedding.
Do you know how much of a creep you were to her after that?
100%. And like I saw
My
it
wife
in an
is right
instant,
about
her
you.
being like, "That's disgusting." Like
What?
And I don't think I said it as creepy as I just said it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like those words alone
Those words
are
came
creepy.
out.
And like I feel
my
like
wife was right about you.
I feel like my relationship with my buddy's wife, who was like, they're like the two best people I've ever met in my life. It was like my buddy was getting married and his wife, and like this was like her childhood friend. And like my buddy and his wife are like generally like the two best people I've ever met in my life. Like I love them. They're on my fridge right now.
Yeah.
Like there's not many people on my fridge. I have them on my fridge. And I just feel like this girl definitely told her. And like I feel like she's never looked at me the same way. Like she's like, "Your friend's a creep," and I'm like, "Yeah, 100%." Like I just wish I could like tell this woman like I was in a fucked up place in life. Like, like I know what I said was creepy and wrong, and I'm sorry, and I just don't know how to like
Get back.
I'm not that person, but I was at that time, and I'm sorry.
That's wild.
Yeah, and sometimes I just think about that. I'm like, oh.
It just hits you, yeah.
Like I just sit for a moment. I'm like, that's awful.
You know, there's one of my.
My wife was right.
My wife is right.
Now, did she know right away what you were talking about?
Well, I said I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something about like like, "Oh yeah, like my wife was right. Like you are hot," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a wedding party with you now. I have to spend the weekend just like next to you, and she
Yeah.
never hung
And all
around
she
me.
thinks is that you and your wife, you want to cuck your wife, but
Oh, yeah, what's some type of threesome? My wife.
Oh
Is
my
like,
god.
I'm like, I was, yeah.
I would love to hear her perspective on this.
Yeah.
There's
I hope she listens.
there's a podcast I listen to that's really interesting. I think I've talked about it on here. It's called Heavyweights, where they take stuff like that, like a moment in your life, and they basically if you were on that show, they would take that. You would start by saying, "This moment happened to me. I realize it," and they would go back and find her.
Oh my
and
God.
like bring
I
it
wanna go
up.
on
Do you
this
remember
podcast.
this? And that's the whole episode, and it's really good. I would love to hear
Yeah.
that.
The thing is, like, she doesn't care. Like, she's gotten onto like
Do you still know her?
the other.
The one that you said this to?
Have like you
No, like
seen
I
her
think she ended up.
since?
No. Like they I think she moved to Florida. Like
No, you know enough.
I don't like my buddy who got married.
She wasn't planning on moving to
my
Florida.
buddy was they lived.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
They all lived in Connecticut.
Okay.
Like so, my buddy's wife grew up in Connecticut. Like when they got married, they moved to that's where they live now. So like, there's not a lot of ways for me to bump into them, but. I miss this guy all the time. Like, I wish I could hang out with him all the time, but he's just like he's got his own life going up there.
You
And I
think
just
it
and I
ruined
feel like
your relationship?
a little bit sometimes. Like we don't hang out as much, or like when I see his wife, she's always nothing but nice to me.
Yeah,
like
but
she doesn't
in the
let
back
on.
of their mind, you're the creep.
I think
who hit
always a
on
little
her.
bit like they've talked about me in the past. Like your buddy Ryan's a creep. Like
Yeah. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
hard to shake too.
yeah.
You're forever creep.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I'll send this to them to be like, does this help? Like,
Yeah.
if I like,
Listen,
if
I
you
know.
know, like that, I know that I was fucked up. Would that help?
I think it
Put
would.
this clip on the share this clip.
Share this clip with them.
I think it would, honestly.
Ryan comes clean.
Do you feel better like saying that
I
in
feel
a
better.
public forum?
I do. Yeah, I that's how I feel about life in general. Like if there's anything that like I'm hung up on, it's always better saying it. But Yeah, like I feel like they were fine. They were dancing. She wasn't like I didn't ruin her weekend, but
No.
I ruined definitely like us hanging out. Like we could have just been all like fun hanging out. But like I was like
You
over
possibly
here.
could have gotten to a threesome if you didn't say
No,
that.
not with her, I don't think ever. But yeah, if I just would have played it cool,
Yeah.
we all would have just had a nice time. It was a
Well,
great wedding. It was,
you live and
It was
learn.
on 9/11. The wedding was on 9/11.
Was it really?
Yeah, not
Jeez.
I
not
was
the
gonna say-
9/11. But
So this was her 9/11. She suffered
she's
it
like,
twice.
she was like, there was 2 tragedies on 9/11.
What did you do? When she brings up never forget 9/11, she thinks about you asking her that.
My wife thinks you're hot.
I also blame Cheryl at the time. She's like, don't come around here. But she was like, yeah. She's your type.
Such a bold
My
move.
wife was right about you. I just can't get over that. Because that tells you, one, that me and my wife think you're hot, and we're talking about you when on our spare time.
And like she comes from this Christian house, it's like, one man, one woman, and you don't talk like that about other women, and yeah,
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor.
covet,
I think that's what
Covet.
it's called. What is it?
covet,
Covet.
yeah.
You can't covet a neighbor.
No, you're not supposed to.
Covet, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it covet?
Yeah, but you didn't say that.
What'd I say?
Coveth.
But I do think there's a lot of people like us that do talk about that freely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'd met people like that because we had a couple friends that were like pretty loose about shit
there's
like that.
plenty of people like
so you
that.
just start to think like, yeah, a couple. You get to a certain age and
It's a lot
things
more
are
common
open.
than you think.
Right.
Some people are a little,
But it's
uptight,
not. But it's not across the
everybody.
board.
It's
So
not
you
across
can't
the
and you can't just go around acting and meeting people immediately. Not before you get a read on them. I should have got a read on her to be like, oh yeah, she's
Yeah,
cool.
maybe. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, maybe.
Where are you from?
yeah. Not immediately at the bat. Get a feel like maybe the next day you realize like, oh yeah, she's pretty cool. Like I should, hey, you know what? I was like, it's funny you say that because like my wife said when when I met you.
I noticed that I do that a lot myself with like my whole medical issues that I talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like I give up a lot of me because I'm so used. Like I get up and I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
on a stage or whatever's going on. So sometimes I'll meet people. And like, just the other day, I was talking to somebody. We were talking about hair, and I just started blurting all my stuff. I'm like, I was taking this pill. It all fell. I'm basically like, and I saw them like the conversation ended. They kind of like, oh my god, it was like too much for them to take. And
Well, some conversations aren't like. Everybody's had a moment where they reveal too much to somebody for no reason.
Yeah.
Just whether it's like a normal conversation on a line waiting for somebody.
But we're 3 guys who don't really like small talk. Like I'm like get to it.
exactly,
And,
I'd much rather
some
that.
people like the small talk. Like what do you like? You're supposed to keep this pleasant. Like
I
you're
hate
supposed to be
small
like.
talk, but I do it. I don't know why.
Well, everybody's
But
had
you
to
do
it
it
to a
because
certain
like there's
extent.
people like this who don't want to hear the like. You're not going to be like, yeah, no, I'm
I know.
getting stoned and I live, like getting dark about your life.
Yeah.
Like they want to be like, oh yeah, Nick's doing good. And,
But that stuff, when you talk about like you bypass all that and you get to like the real stuff in your life,
Yeah.
I feel like you just fast forward like 3 years of fake friendship. It's like, all right, now that's why I have I'm friendly with a lot of comics because like I know a lot of their sorry.
yeah.
I know a lot
Choked
of
up.
no, it does sound like
It's
that. I know a
emotional.
lot of like a lot about them.
Know a lot
in a
about
very
the comics.
in a very personal way
Yeah.
than I wouldn't if it was just a random person. I'm like, hey, how you doing? We'll watch the game.
Yeah.
So I feel closer to them in a way.
Sure, that makes
So
sense.
I just blurt out
maybe
everything.
that's why I feel the way I feel because I don't really know a lot about them, so I don't.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan is always putting me in a
Maybe if I got to know them, I wouldn't.
I agree
Maybe.
with you on that.
but
I'm just fucking around. I don't know if anybody listens, but so we went to that broken mic and I brought up Tupac on my set. I recorded the set. If you
yeah,
wanna-
what
I
are we
can
are we
send it
I
going
would
to try
like
to
to
do
hear
that?
do what? Like,
I
do you want to
thought-
watch it, and comment
No.
on it, or just post it?
I,
You wanna
I
just-
thought maybe like a Patreon thing.
Yeah,
Didn't we
we can
talk
put it
about
Could
doing
you
that?
just send it to me at least?
yeah,
I
it might be a good Patreon.
we
Just
do have a-
something. We have a Patreon. I can put it on there.
I mean,
yeah.
I think we could start putting out some stuff on there,
Yeah.
right?
I don't expect anybody to join it, but it's fun to have a Patreon with things on it.
Yeah, but if we're gonna have a Patreon, we might
More
as well.
content.
Oh, we're gonna
Maybe.
promote it. We'll
Put
promote
some
it. We'll
contact.
try to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is just an extra version.
Right now, the Patreon is free, so you can just join the Patreon without having to pay anything. But then I'll put a paywall
The
to it.
second we start putting up stuff,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, the one thing that's up is the Oscar special,
Power
and that's
slice messed me up.
the Oscar special is free on Patreon right now because I couldn't put it on YouTube. It wouldn't let me put it on YouTube.
Okay, that's right.
So
Copyright.
if you're listening to this and you want to watch that episode, you can watch it on Patreon and then join, and then
and then you get the good stuff.
you get the good stuff eventually.
That's a tough first thing to put on Patreon too, though.
The Oscars?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, just we got to do a better format.
yeah. I wouldn't charge somebody for that.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be behind a paywall.
No.
It's the only way we could do it though, because it's got
Copyright stuff on it.
Yeah.
But I think the broken mic might be fun for.
Why not?
That might be worth it. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I think we should put a lot of sets and things of that nature on the Patreon.
Yeah.
The
Well,
babies outside of the adult
I
babies.
hesitate to say this because I've said this a couple times, but I do feel slightly inspired to get back into doing stand up, and I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'm trying to make it a career. I want to get to the point, I've said this a bunch of times, is just to film a little tiny special myself. I want to get just comfortable enough with the jokes because I like the jokes that I've performed over the last 6 months here and there. I did 3 new jokes that I've never really done before the other night, and like they didn't get a huge pop, but it's something about like, if you feel good saying it. I'm like, yeah, I think there's jokes here. If I worked these out, I could make jokes here. Like there's as they weren't brilliant.
I
But I'm
thought
like,
you got some of the bigger laughs of the night, though.
I think the Tupac and Dr. Dre bit is. I
Yeah.
think that's something that'll definitely see the light of day at some point. And everything else, there's stuff there. So I just want to do an open mics enough to get it to where I can perform it for friends and family and feel confident and write it out. And
You should.
so I feel like maybe that journey would be fun on Patreon.
That
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
That would be for sure.
Almost like a documentary.
Yeah, well, we had that guy Kyle, right? Who did that?
Yeah, Kyle did something like that
One
of a
joke
joke.
and
But
Yeah.
not even a joke of you getting back into it.
yeah. Well, there used to be there was a documentary, iComic.
Yes.
Is that Seinfeld?
No, that was one we talked about a couple weeks ago. This was a guy who had stopped for years. He stopped for like 15 years,
Something?
maybe. Yeah, and it was a
Schleier-
documentary about him. It
Schuyler?
was a documentary about him getting back into comedy.
Yeah.
But did you watch Baby Reindeer?
I watched. Yeah, most of it.
Did you watch it?
Why is it good?
We were talking about it.
I'm like up in the air with it.
yeah, I thought it was worth a watch. Interesting watch.
Is it a movie or a show?
Show 6 episodes, I think.
Okay.
It's easy enough to watch, but it's pretty wild. It
is wild,
and it's
yeah.
based off a true story. But there are some stuff he added.
Added, yeah,
into
for
it, which I guess you have to do. these
Yeah,
days.
nothing that was added that makes it a different story. Just things that like make it a better watch.
Okay.
But it's the true story for the guy who's in it, the guy who stars in it. It's his story, which makes it a little more interesting to watch the guy be like, "Oh, this actor actually, this is the actor that it happened to."
They did that with that Paris terrorist movie on the train. The guys who were actually involved in it were the actors in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
know if I
15, 17 or 5, 7.
Oh, okay.
Well, this guy was like in.
He was doing a
He was
one
like
man
he was like
show.
an actor and a comic as it starts.
Okay.
But then I found out, so I wondered watching it because he was a stand up and they showed some of his stand up bits. And Ron Bennington was talking about this and he said something I couldn't agree with more. He's like, it's a pretty hard watch. There's a lot of rough scenes in it. He's like, the most uncomfortable part of this whole thing was watching his stand up because it's awful. Like he's a terrible stand up comic. And like, I'm like, but he must have like made up these jokes to present himself as a bad comic. But no, it came
real.
out that was his act. And I'm like, that was his act? Like, could you imagine?
Oh wow.
He was like a prop comic. He came out with like an outfit.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was like.
No, that was true.
I thought that was like, all right. Well, I'm not going to show you my act.
Me too. And then I found out like there's video of him, like actual video, and that's what it is.
That was it.
Yeah. So that was almost like, how is this guy get a show on Netflix?
Because he came up with an incredible story.
This is why not to begrudge your stand up, but you don't need to be a great stand up to do a one man show.
Yeah.
He wants to work on a one man show, and I want to help make this thing come to life. So we're going to work on this thing. So we want to get him into Edinburgh.
Because I'm a prop comic.
We want to get him to the Edinburgh Comedy Festival.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is this look?
You don't think
I
you don't
cheer
think
you.
his life story would be a great
Oh,
one
you're
man
doing
show?
like your life story. I just didn't know what you mean by a one-man show.
A one man show of
Props.
his. No.
He's
No.
confused.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I got
I'm gonna
confused.
be pulling ribbons
Yeah, I was
out of my
like,
nose.
What the fuck is he doing?
That's why he's looking at me. He's not saying anything.
You could be like like cancer,
Yeah.
kidneys. Yeah.
I lost them. I gained them back.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
the story,
that.
like his
Oh,
health
no,
thing.
no, I
Yeah.
agree with
There's
that.
enough stories there
Oh
for
my
Christ's
god,
sake.
I truly think it would be a
And there's more too.
Mike
that-
Birbiglia type of thing. Like you got some real life stuff in there that's really fascinating.
I
Did you watch the John Mulaney thing at all this week?
I watched bits and
Couple of
pieces
them,
of
yeah.
it. It didn't.
There was some yes, there was some.
I couldn't have hated Jon Stewart more on that his
yeah,
episode.
he's terrible on that
Dude,
episode.
did
like
he-
how
I
much
didn't see
fucking
that one.
attention do you need?
It was like he needed to steal when somebody called, when somebody did this, he had to like steal
Like
the
sit
show.
down, shut the
Yeah,
fuck
shut up.
Sit down. Like you've got your own show. Everybody thinks you're great. Like you're interrupting. There's a new comic who got no stage time in there. I don't remember her name, but like she came out
Oh
there.
yeah.
And like he's trying to interview her, and he's interrupting. Dude, you're the biggest star on the stage.
That's
shut
annoying.
What more
Yeah.
do you need? Like I watched it going like I'm sad for you. Like you're so desperate for attention. You keep shouting out. You're acting out. You're making everything about you.
No, I actually thought the
like
same
dude,
thing. Like,
I'm like,
shut up,
dude,
Stewart.
you're so annoying, dude. Like
What episode was? I
that
almost
was the
want to
second
watch
one.
that. now.
Monday
the
night's
fifth
one.
episode was with Pete Davidson with the
I'd like to see that one.
the chick, the black chick with the shaved head. She stole the show.
Oh yeah.
She was fucking
I want to watch. I want to watch them all. The first one. I thought was
Letterman was on it.
Oh, that's
that
fun.
was the best episode.
Okay.
So was
I love
every?
Letterman.
I just saw like, I think I watched the first night for a little bit, but it was on late, and I kind of. I want to give it a thorough rewatch. Is it all like set up where they come on and do like a round table thing?
No, it's
It's
there's,
almost
there's
set
a
up
topic,
like it's like a topic.
Okay.
and they have a lot of guests on, and they cut to different field.
I know, I saw paranormal.
pre-recorded field bits. They do slight interviews here and there, but they always have a professional on about the topic of the show. Well, not always. I mean, I watched 2 episodes, and that's
Yeah,
what it
no,
was.
they
So,
did.
That's
did.
what it seems. Yeah.
but who's the announcer?
yeah, Richard
Richard
Kind.
Kind.
That's right.
My
That's
boy.
right.
That's
forgot.
what I was gonna say. Richard Guy was
Who slays it?
He was great,
great.
from what I saw.
great.
He's great in everything.
Yeah, he is. Fuck Tom Hanks. Yeah, I think it's worth the watch. I'm excited to watch the rest of them. I'm excited to watch David Letterman, but
5
yeah, dude,
was great. Mulaney's like he had to drop the special, then he had the interview with David Letterman. He's like back
Yeah.
out and around. He's doing really good. I'm a
he's
big
great. I love
Mulaney-
that he's being vulnerable. He's being honest
Yeah.
about his
I'm a
drug
big
his drug
Mulaney
addiction.
fan.
I love
Yeah.
that special he did where he told that whole his whole journey of
Yeah.
drugs.
I think it's great.
Wild.
When he goes about that interview and how he reads it back was hysterical.
Yeah. That was great. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
I
I'm
would
gonna watch
it.
that then.
Yeah, yeah. Watch Baby Reindeer. I think it's an interesting watch, but
Yeah, I
feel
want to
like
see
there's
what
a
you
reason
think
why.
of it.
I'm
but,
gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, so
I didn't know what the hell it was. I've been like holding off on it, and now I'll do it.
and then I watched. I just watched Late Night with the Devil.
What'd you
And,
think?
I feel bad rating movies like this or reviewing movies like this because they're just not for me.
Okay.
Like I watch it going like I understand why people who like this genre like this. I just
You can't get
I
it.
liked the vibe of it. I liked I like
I
this.
thought
I
it was
like
really cool how they did it.
I like the setting of it. I was like I love movies set in the 70s with those colors and like I love that.
What's it about?
It's
Scary?
about it's about
they
it's
re-show
not
an
scary,
airing-
really.
It's not. But it's like
it's a late night host who was trying to compete with Johnny Carson and he can't.
I think we talked about.
yeah,
Okay.
it was his wreck last week.
Oh, okay. I probably asked the same
And-
question.
they basically show you a show that was unaired, and they so
Or
what
like
you're
lost
seeing,
to time 'cause
lost
it was-
footage,
yeah.
and you basically watch the episode, like watch the talk show.
and then behind the
And then
scenes
they
during
show
the
behind
during the
the scenes
commercials,
during
it's
commercials.
behind the scenes, and it's
Okay.
about
And
him.
something
It's
happened.
about him doing everything it takes.
I'm a big fan of that guy.
I don't know him.
I don't know his name, but
Yeah.
every time I see him, I enjoy him.
I thought it was a little slow paced. I didn't love the delivery of a lot of the things.
It's not a scary movie though.
It's
I hear
it's
Devil Eye.
it's a horror movie, but it's not really like there's no point where you're scared. I don't think.
I think it's
if you're,
more.
but maybe that's why I like these movies because I'm never.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Is like you're not. They're not scary. It's not scary, but
I watch it going like, what is this? Like,
yeah,
what are we
it's
doing?
a little. It's like a horror.
People
but-
who like, oh my god, that's crazy. They do this. Like
Yeah.
that's the reaction you get from a horror fan. I watch is going, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Like,
I'm
that's-
more
that's-
along the lines
yeah.
of that. I wish I wasn't, but
try it.
Yeah,
What's it on?
it's a fun watch. I got
It's a chick.
And
flick?
it's not that long. It's only like an
hour and a half.
Oh,
Yeah, hour and a
good.
half. It
Well,
was
I'm
on.
trying to get into movies again since The Whale was the first movie I've watched since.
I cannot get myself to watch The Whale.
I don't want to bring up The Whale 2 years ago. It's like this movie. You don't need to.
No, you don't have to.
No,
It
but
was
I mean, like, everybody watched it when it came out. I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
No, we already talked about that. All I'm saying is it was my first. All right, I'm back into watching movies now. You know,
better movies than that. Go back and watch.
I want to watch the Claw thing.
Iron Claw.
The Iron
great.
Claw.
Oh, I wanna
See,
watch
that's
that
his. I
too.
wish he would go back if he's going to get into them. Watch some older movies.
I'm gonna. Well, I said.
But I mean, like 70s, 80s. There's some really good.
Well,
ones.
it depends. I like a nice crisp picture.
You're an
I have a
HD guy.
weird problem with that stuff.
Really?
Watching
Can't go back
old
and, like,
movies. Yeah. I have a
Black
real
and white. How do you
problem.
feel about black and white?
I like black and white
Yeah.
because it. But some of those old 80s, 70s, like it's
No,
just
you got to watch Hitchcock.
I did. I watched Psycho. I really enjoyed it.
No, but I mean, like some of his like Rear Window.
If the cinematography is done right, that stuff kind of just fades away. Like you just fall into like the if it's a little bit grainy, a little bit picture, like you don't pay attention to that stuff.
I'm willing to
A good enough
give
movie,
it
all
a
that stuff
shot.
just disappears when you.
There's a few things on my list. Like what I'm saying is, I'm trying to. All right, I'm going to give myself a movie night when I have no shows, nothing to do.
Yeah, I like
all right,
it.
I'm gonna
Can
try
me
a
and
movie.
Ryan alternate on the movies that you should watch?
What, you're gonna tell me what to watch?
Yeah, me and him.
No,
just keep
because then I'm gonna start
recommending.
hating movies.
Yeah, no,
I want to watch what I'm interested in.
and I don't want to be responsible for your enjoyment of a movie anyway.
No.
I feel too much pressure.
Wait, like, what are you gonna tell me to watch?
I would never give you like.
Give me a
Clay-
recommendation right now.
Wonderland's on HBO. Excellent movie. Val Kilmer. It's about John Holmes, the porn star.
Oh yeah, we
was
just
a-
talked about that. Too.
Yeah, but it was an excellent movie, and it's a great story.
Okay, all right. That's me. And how long is it?
1 hour 45.
I could do it.
50.
I could do it. I have 2 hours in my time. All right, I'll do that then.
He's got
Great.
2 hours in his time.
I do. I could. When I say that,
I know what you
I could
mean.
watch it without falling asleep.
I get it. I get it.
You know?
I think you'll love Wonderland. Great movie.
I haven't seen it either. Maybe I'll watch it.
You should definitely. You'll love it
Yeah. All right.
because you're a little more open than he is.
I am very open. You're wrong. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not closed. I just don't watch it.
I just really wanted to like this movie, this Late Night with the Devil. I truly did. I was excited about it. I liked the idea of it, and then I
thought
might
you'd
go.
appreciate the cinematography and how it was done
Yeah.
more than you'd have.
That's
It
I just
kind of
get,
intrigues me.
I just get bored by the
But
story.
I could see how stuff
I just
like
need some
that-
realism.
I
That's it.
know.
And that I've said this 1,000 times. Like, it's not a criticism of people who like it. I wish that
what
I
you
could.
like.
I wish that I could. I'm too trapped into realistic storylines. Like I can't let my imagination go. Like, oh, this is crazy, or this.
My mind's weird because it's like sometimes I could do it and then others I can't.
Well, I guess that's the
certain
difference.
like
That's the difference in
sci-fi
good
stuff. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then I'll watch that like, I fucking loved it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're
Yeah, if you made it
We're at
this
that
far.
time,
yeah.
guys. It was a pleasure spending my Sunday morning with
I
you.
enjoy
Same.
Sunday
I
mornings. with
really
you guys.
enjoy our.
I like
and,
Sunday mornings with just the three of us.
You know,
Can I tell you, I was excited coming in today with just no offense to any guests. I love you all, but I enjoy the episodes with us.
we have a good chemistry once the three of us.
I like it.
Well, we'll try not to have so many guests on all the time. I feel
What? No, you don't have to apologize. We have them when we have them, but
Yeah.
I enjoy these
all right.
as well.
All right. Well, I enjoyed today.
There's definitely podcasts that like Tuesdays with stories used to have a guest on all the
Yeah.
time, and then they stopped. And I'm like, I like this way better without guests.
Yeah.
Like sometimes just podcasts are better with, but that's every once in a while it's nice.
Every
to bring
once in a
somebody
while,
in.
it's fun to throw a person on, but we'll see. We'll choose. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Like, subscribe, comment.
do those things.
Thanks,
Yeah.
friends.
Do
Thank
those
you.
things.
Yeah.